Hello everyone, welcome to today's video, where today you can see we have the amazing Yamaguchi Revoltech Iron Spider. This is the reissue with the more sleek, sexy, gray packaging, and I must say I'm not a fan of the new packaging. It's good packaging, let's say that right away, but just for amazing Yamaguchi, I like the old packaging, the crazy graphics, everything thrown at it, see what sticks, that type of packaging. I liked it. It was quirky for all intents and purposes. So, on the back, you can see all of the product shots and everything. You get the unpiratable hologram, all the Japanese writing. This was imported. I got this from Hobby Link Japan. It has been since sold out. I hope you can pick it up if you want it, but I do have some thoughts on it. And this was clearly, this is Iron Spider, introduced in the Civil War comic, which is a comic I really enjoyed at the time. Most of it I enjoyed. I didn't enjoy how they wrote Captain America, but that's another conversation for another day. And as you can see, it has, the Marvel Spider-Man branding, which is that one animated show. I believe that's what this is. The Drake Bell one, where Drake Bell voices Peter Parker. And that's fine. That's actually probably the place I most have seen the Iron Spider outside of the, the Civil War comic and then the shitty MCU suit. I hate the MCU Iron Spider. But, yeah, it looks nice. And, he was actually, Amadeus Cho was Iron Spider, which many of you will know as Hulk. One of the Hulks, in the comics. But I'm pretty sure it was Amadeus Cho that was the Iron Spider in the show. I really liked their, Web Warriors thing that they did for the time. I was a kid when that show was airing, so of course I liked it, but yeah. So, we'll get the figure out. This is how he comes out right out of the package. And, he looks good. So, the reason I never picked this guy up, because I actually really like the Iron Spider suit, this version of the Iron Spider suit. The reason I never wanted to pick this guy up is, number one, I didn't used to collect action figures. And number two, I only started recently collecting Amazing Yamaguchi because I have the Moon Knight, and this figure was so amazing that it makes me want to go back and collect as many of the figures that I can of the characters that I want. And people used to... Amazing Yamaguchi used to scare me because people were like, oh, they're so annoying to articulate, they're so hard, it's like playing with a puzzle. They're just, and they look bad in neutral poses. For me, I don't really pose a lot of my characters in neutral poses anyway. Maybe if the figure doesn't move well, I'll pose it in a neutral pose, or if it's like a character that just looks badass, just standing straight up and down like Punisher, then maybe I'll do that. But for me, or Cyclops, but for me, I like posing my action figures, and I got this guy today from Hobby Link Japan. I had the other Spider-Man on pre-order, the version 2.0, but I canceled that because I had some other stuff coming in last month, and it said it was supposed to come in last month, so I didn't get that. But I actually bought him in stock this month on Big Bad Toy Store, so he'll be coming in along with the Blob. I'm finally getting very close to completing my Brotherhood, which makes me happy. But back to this figure, he looks nice. He's in that nice metallic gold and blue, or gold and red. Sorry, you see the holes on the back. That we'll get into that with accessories. And he just looks nice. There are some paint flaws. I mean, the eyes aren't the cleanest thing in the world, but they're not bad. And I do wish this came with, alternate, maybe a battle damaged head and stuff like that. I think Amazing Yamaguchi do really well with accessories for the most part, but heads are not really their strong suit. I feel like there's not that many head options with Amazing Yamaguchi, you know what I mean? There's face plates like they did with this guy, but there's not really head options. So some figures get that treatment, but not all. And I wish they would do that more. I mean, it's probably because I'm such a big Mezco guy, and I'm so used to having so many accessories and so many options. But I'm sure they do a good amount of accessories, head accessories for characters that really need it. Like, if they ever do a Cyclops, I'm sure he'll get a good amount of accessories. I'm sure Nightwing, if they ever did a Nightwing, I hope they do a Nightwing. And a Daredevil. You know, people showing skin. I get not doing it with the Spider-Man character. But they could have at least done interchangeable eyes like they do with the other ones. Okay, so this is Amazing Yamaguchi. So obviously he's got crazy articulation, but we'll get into that after we actually get into the accessories. So for accessories, he comes with the Waldos. That's what these spider arms are called. And these articulate very well. So you get good range on all of the points, actually. And that's good and a bad thing, because the joints get pretty loose and they pop out. But I'd rather that happen, like them pop out, than just straight on break. But they do get kind of loose sometimes. So that is a downside of this guy. You get 4 of them just in case you want the 4-armed Spider-Man, or Iron Spider-Man, or the 3-armed Spider. And then next you get, let me just pull them out. You get these web accessories, which are just like, you get 2 of them. They just plug into the hands, or the thwip. I'm sure that they plug into the thwippers. We'll check that out. And then you can, well, I guess you can plug them into this hand, but it doesn't really work too well. And I actually don't like these ones as much as I like the ones that came with Gwen were really cool, and I really like these. So if I use anything, I'll probably use the ones that came with Gwen. We'll see if they actually fit in his hands. And yeah, they fit pretty well in his hands. But I'm not really going to use web effects with Iron Spider. I mean, his draw isn't that he uses webs, it's that he's basically Iron Man with a Spider-Man design. And then for the Waldos, you get these connectors that go on the back. There's fireworks going on outside, sorry. That scared me. These connectors, so you can plug 2 of them in. So you plug 2 of them in on either the up or the down. And then let me just plug this in. This takes a little bit of strength. And sometimes they don't want to go in. Okay, so yeah. And then you can, I'm just going to show you how that works. You just plug them into there, and then you can plug them into this. And then you got the Iron Spider arm. I will get those all on right now to show off what he looks like and to show off the options with that. So I will be right back. Okay, and we're back. And this is what he looks like with the actual Waldos on him. And they look good. And just so you know, just in case you break or lose a joint, he comes with 4 extra of these. So each one does have about 4 in it. So try not to lose them too much, but if you lose 1 or 2, you're covered by Kyoto, which I like that they did that. I wish the Mafex would do that more with their joints, because their hand joints scare the living shit out of me, and I broke one already on my first time ever getting a Spider-Man, the blue. Well, not my first time, but my first time breaking one was on a Spider-Man. But I also wish Kyoto would do that, because their joints kind of scare me on their wrists. But other than that, so this is how they connect on the back. Very ugly, I will say, but they move well. And lucky for me, I'm not a 4 Iron Spider limb kind of guy. I don't like having 4 Waldos on him. So what you can just do is you can pull these right out. Get 3 of them out. Throw the 3rd one away. Don't throw it away, but you know what I mean. And then you can just plug them all directly into the back. So that makes it easier and less finicky. And gives you the 3 Iron Spider limb look. And that's actually the way I prefer it. So that'll be the way he stays for me. I do get that there were the 4 limb look is a thing. That was mostly like, wasn't that like a task force type thing of Iron Spiders? I haven't read Civil War in so long, but he does look good, and this makes me kind of crave a Scorpion. I don't know why. I feel like Kyoto doesn't do that many villains. I mean, outside of the Joker. There's the Joker. There's Venom and Carnage. Venom can be characterized as a villain or a hero. So, that's really all I can think of. Okay, sorry. And then we're going to take these off. I mean, I will show off the articulation for a second. So you got a hinge there, you know, you got a Rebel-Tech joint. You can move that all around on all these points, actually. So it's very well articulated, which is a good thing and a bad thing. Like I said, I kind of just wish this one did it, because you don't need that with all of these, I feel like. But for people that really get into posing, I think they'll be happy with that. We'll take these back out. And then you get this thing here, which is another hole. And it's not in his butt like it is with the Moon Knight, so that's cool, I guess. I don't know. And that just plugs into him, and you can see, you can just kind of plug it on. I have a lamp right here. You can kind of just do that, and then, you know, put it on your fridge, whatever. So that's pretty dope. It's pretty strong, actually, magnet, so that's actually really dope. I hope that Mafex takes notes with their magnetic iron, or their magnetic Spider-Man feet and hands. And speaking of feet and hands, well, first you get the typical Kyoto stand, which you can plug this into the hole that I just showed you, or there's a clamp to grip onto it. I prefer the hole strategy, just because I don't really like clamps on my figures. The only ones I really fuck with, pardon my language, are the Mezco ones, so. Okay, and then last but not least, you have 3 sets of hands, 3 extra sets of hands outside of the fists. So you get, let me just pull these out. You get these thwippers, which look nice. They're really wide thwippers, so that's cool. That Marvel versus Capcom type of way, which I feel like, yeah, if that's kind of more comfortable doing that than the way that most people see it. So yeah, I got a little cat hair on him, sorry. So yeah, I actually really like these. And then you can actually plug those web effects right into the wrist, well, right into the hole on there. If it's supposed to fit in there, let's see if we can get it on camera. And yeah, it does fit in there. And then you got blips. So this works better for that than making him hold them, but I just know that with the Gwen you were able to make her hold them, and so I figured you could do that with him too. And then you have these more like relax or style pose, reaching out hands, which look nice. They all have that gold like hand detailing. And then last but not least, these are more wall crawling hands. I wish he came with more flat wall crawling hands like the new one does, but you know, I'm probably mostly going to be using him with fists anyway, so it's not a big deal. But these are nice as well. And for the articulation, this is the crazy part. Obviously, this is a Kyoto figure, Amazing Yamaguchi figure, so we will see how that goes. So for the head, you can look up that far. You know, he has like a hinge on the actual head, which is really cool, so you get good area of movement. You can make him nerd neck that shit all the way, which is really cool. That's really good for wall crawling poses. And then, you know, you got the neck that can move around in there independently, so for the head, that gets you a lot. And then you get for the arm, you have an armpit like joint type thing, which I think most Kyoto have, from what I can think of. I mean, at least the males. Moon Knight, even one of their newest figures, has that as well. So I don't think Gwen has that. We'll take a look at her and size comparisons, but so you get a good range out of that. That gives you pretty good, like, instead of a butterfly joint, you can get that shit far in front of him. And for the arms, it's a Kyoto, or it's a Rebel-Tech joint, so you can get it up to there. You can move it all the way around. You can get some crazy shit. You got double jointed elbows. You got the typical wrist joint. And for torso, he's got an upper ball joint up there, and you can get that all around. That's just with the upper ball joint that you can do that. But with the lower ball joint, you can get even lower. So yeah, you're getting those crunchy or spider crawling, wall crawling type poses. You're getting those. If you want those, you're getting those. You can move back that far, which isn't a lot, but I prefer more forward than back. And then you got good tilt in the whole thing. Great. It's twist, obviously. And then for the legs. So legs on Kyoto figures always kind of weird me out. They trip me up. Because you have like this weird joint. Not so much on him, but on Gwen especially. You really get that. That's my cat crying. I don't know what she's crying about. She's right here. You can kick forward that far, but you really got to kind of manipulate it to kick it forward more, you know, to actually... he's got a rubbery waist type thing, so yeah, it's this guy's hard to move. Like, he can definitely be hard to move. Let me see what she wants. Sorry, she just wants attention. You can kick out to there, which is pretty good. This is just like something that's hard to do on camera. Like, if you want this guy, you're gonna have to learn how to articulate him. But you got double jointed knee, obviously, and you can actually move the knee around. So if you want to do some weird shit with that, and then you know you have this. This is my first Kyoto, I think, that does this articulated knee. Because Gwens are pretty smooth, and then they just let Moon Knights just kick out. So, and I don't mind that, especially for an armored character. So Moon Knight, it makes sense on. Even Iron Spider, it would make sense on for me, in my opinion. But, yeah. And then you have... Well, this one actually doesn't have articulated shit. Yeah, it does. It's just this one's stuck. So that's another thing with this guy. He's got stuck parts because this one's not wanting to move. And then these, earlier today, weren't wanting to move out. They just wanted to... See, you can get good, like, range. Like, you can do some crazy shit with this guy. Close those back up. So yeah, and then let's get him stood straight up. Yeah, I do get what people are coming from, saying like Amazing Yamaguchi figures don't stand naturally very well, but you just got to give it a little bit of work. You just got to actually, if you actually enjoy posing your action figures, you're gonna enjoy these. So for size comparisons, we're gonna start up with my only other two Amazing Yamaguchi figures at this point. We have the GOAT Moon Knight. The greatest, my favorite Amazing Yamaguchi figure. I don't think he'll be topped until I get Agent Venom. I don't think he'll be topped. And yeah, they're about the same size. It's not too big of a difference. And then we will do the Spider-Gwen. Which, come on, Kyoto, come on, man. Like, y'all have given us these two looks. You've given us Spider-Gwen, two different versions of Iron Spider, so technically an Aaron Davis, but no Miles. We need a Miles. But you've given us Agent Venom and not a Miles? We need a Miles. So, please, give us a Miles. So, but anyways, yeah, they look good. She's appropriately small. He's a little bit taller, I feel like, than Iron Spider, yeah. So, that could just be the way I have him posed up, or like the way I have him stood. But I feel like Peter should be a little smaller, but this is an Iron Man suit, so I will let it pass. And then, speaking of Miles, we'll do a Miles. I have the Marvel Legends Classic Miles, and I like these guys together because, like I said, I was a big fan of the Web Warriors when the cartoon did that. So it had Miles, Iron Spider, obviously regular Peter Parker, Kane was there, not Kane, not Ben Reilly. For some reason it was Kane. And then they had Agent Venom, which I love Agent Venom. I've always loved Agent Venom, Flash Thompson. And then they had some other characters that weren't part of the Web Warriors that I really loved. So Peter's main group was Iron Fist, Power Man. Is her name White Tiger? I can't think of it right now. And then Nova. And Nova was a real prick. He's voiced by one of my favorite actors, Logan Miller, but he was a real prick in that cartoon. And then it brought in characters that no one, that were, in my opinion, pretty unknown for, especially for that type of audience. You had, we'll also bring in the Mafex Black Suit while I ramble. You had Kazar and Zabu, which are two characters that I can't wait to get in Marvel Legends. I have to pick up that wave. Those are two very important characters to me. And then you had like Cloak and Dagger. That you had some crazy characters in that show, which that's why I really liked it. They didn't necessarily characterize them all that well, but. And then you have the Marvel Legends Silk, which is probably my favorite female Marvel Legends outside of the new Black Widow. And then you have we'll get a Mezco in there. We'll do the Mezco. The Mezco Cyclops. And Cyclops is a little undersized. This Mezco is a little undersized. We'll also get the Mafex Spider-Man in here. Let me just take him out of his pose. The Mafex Red and Blue Spider-Man. Comic color Spider-Man. Get him out of his pose. I had him posed up on some metal so that he would stick. I have cat hair everywhere. I'm so sorry. But this is what he looks like next to him, which is pretty cool. Looks pretty good. And then let's get the Sentinel Miles Morales from Into the Spider-Verse out here. This is a guy I don't think I've used in size comparisons for this guy for a little while, actually. Oh yeah, I like that. I really like that. And then probably my favorite Marvel Legends Spider-Man, the Sensational Spider-Man with the, the Renew Your Vows Spider-Man head on top. And then vice versa, we have the Renew Your Vows Spider-Man with the Ben Reilly Sensational Spider-Man head on top. And yeah, these guys all look good together. I mean, one thing about Spider-Man, you're going to get a Spider-Man figure and you're going to put them with other Spider-Man, they're going to look good. No matter what brand it is. I mean, you can throw a Lego Spider-Man in there for your Spider-Verse, which is why I really like the Spider-Verse stuff. So, yeah, I recommend getting this guy. I don't recommend paying too much especially if you just want to get one just to throw it into your Spider-Verse display. Probably just pick up the Marvel Legends. It's like $30 on Big Bad Toy Store, which is a lot because I got this guy for $50. So $20 more, but you're not going to get this guy for $50 unless you get him from a Japanese retailer, bundle him with a bunch of other figures that you want to get. You pay $20 for shipping. You cut a lot of the cost down. So I recommend doing that if you want to get this guy. If you find him for a fair price, I do recommend him. I wish I kind of would have picked up the Aaron Davis, the Prowler one, but I'm not too much, because that's just a cheap repaint for the most part. Not cheap. These figures aren't cheap, and they put some love into them, but you know what I mean. Just a repaint, black and gold, which is a nice color scheme, but. So, Kyoto, next give us a Daredevil, a Nightwing, a Miles, and please, for the love of God, give us a Black Cat. We've gotten a Catwoman, just reuse that body, add some white to it, and give us a Black Cat. Please. She's my favorite Marvel character. Please. So, yeah. Pick this guy up if you want him. He's nice looking, he's fun to play with, and he's goated. Bye.